Welcome to Soul Talks, a platform for the people by young people. If this is your first time on this show, don't worry, we're just getting started and we'd like you to be part of this journey. Today I'm with my co-host here, Thuba. Hey, how's it, man?
Hi, I'm good. Hi, everyone. This is Thuba and welcome to Soul Talks, a member of the YOKED family. This is a platform for young people and for the people, and not just Christians, but for everyone. And we are very much proud to be Christians.
Yeah, and did you see that we have 27 subscribers now? So to our 27 subscribers, thank you guys. Don't forget to comment, share, and like.
Yeah, do everything. Subscribe,
yes,
share, like, spread the word out there that there is YOKED. And,
yes,
it has 27 subscribers. We would like
but
to
it's growing. Yes,
yeah.
It's growing.
Yeah,
definitely. It's growing, and we promise you we're gonna give you the best of the best.
Yeah,
each and every day we're gonna get better.
yeah,
and yeah. So how are you, man? It's been long since. I think it's been 3 weeks since I saw you.
Yeah, ish.
What's happening?
Well, we've been trying, as they say, indoda ikhali. So I'm back.
But ukhala kwehlula imbuzi. Namanje sakhala.
Yeah, namanje sakhala. So
And yeah.
And vandaag I'm crying for it,
What's happening?
There's this youth congress.
Yeah.
It is in Eastern Cape. So you see this issue of poor planning, I was supposed to be in Eastern Cape right now with my friends.
Yeah.
For that youth congress. And I'm here in Joburg.
Oh, man.
Sad.
But those things, I think they are nicer if you have your own transport. Like if you have your own car,
yeah,
it's easy to go there. But if you don't have, yeah. So zokufuna thina. Anyway,
I'm gonna buy a car one day. So
yeah, hopefully, we'll pray for you. I was listening to Joyful Hymns album.
Yeah,
the new album.
Yeah,
I'm afraid to say this, but I think Joyful Hymns has given us the best choir album.
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah, that is very true. And I think they're not being given their flowers because those guys have been grinding in this
they've been in the
Christian space
for
a very long time. So the writers that they got for that album, composers, and even the musicians themselves, their new members, old members, like Joyful Hymns is one of the best choirs in.
Is it better? Is it better than Soul Impact?
I'm not in the business of comparing. I like them all. So,
but I was listening to Soul Impact.
Yeah.
They also dropped an album.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
Why?
I don't know, because Soul Impact is made up of musicians. I think Soul Impact has more musicians than Joy.
Okay.
Yeah, but their album.
When you say musicians, are you referring to like writers, composers?
I'm referring to composers and just musicians, people that are singing, like people that know how to sing, people who are gifted.
Okay.
Soul Impact has a lot of those people. I don't know about now, but last time I saw them. But what they gave us, I don't know, maybe it's the engineers who couldn't hlanganisa them.
Well, on my part, I enjoyed both albums.
Did you listen to the album? Did you finish it?
Yeah.
No. If you did, you. But Joyful Hymns has given us the best, and with the rate that they are going, I feel like they're still gonna give us more than what they gave us. So shout out to them for the best album right now. in the Adventist space. They are the ones on top. Not that we are comparing. We are not comparing.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah. Well, you can measure a group success or a song success these days via social media. Last year we had Ubonakala all the way throughout the entire year of last year.
But that song, isn't that song older?
Yes, it is older, but social media
it blew up last year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think it was dropped either last year or last year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but throughout the entire year, you had Ubonakala. All your TikToks, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, it was Ubonakala. But now I see everyone posting Gudala by Joyful Hymns, and people are posting their photos from a very young age till now. So, and you find that video has over 50,000 views. Some they've over hundreds of thousands of views. So, Joyful Hymns,
but
is doing well.
Yeah, but do you think the song makes challenges, or the challenges makes the song?
The song, obvious, the song makes a challenge, because if your song is not appealing to people,
it's not gonna get a challenge.
Who will do a challenge with that?
That's true.
So a song has to be on par, and those guys have given us the best music. I also like that song, Sabela. Like, if you listen to the words, if you listen to the sermon, that song, it is a very powerful sermon. Like, lapho ngibizela khona ngizoya. It was Samuel who said something like that in the Bible. So that was a powerful album.
No, thank you. Shout out. Our last episode.
It got people fighting on TikTok,
Yeah. And I think our guest, I don't know, because he's my friend, but he knows that I don't agree with some of the things that he says.
Yeah.
He knows I don't, I tell him, so he's not gonna be shocked. But I want us to do a reflection, man. Like, he said, he said quite some valuable points.
Yeah.
Things that make sense.
Yeah.
But then I figured that there by TikTok, it ended up being insults after insults. No one is really addressing his points and stuff like that. So I just want you personally.
Yeah.
You were here.
Yeah.
While we were shooting the episode.
Yeah.
What do you think of the views that he made?
Well, everyone is entitled to their opinion. We live in a democratic country. That is number one. So,
but is the Adventist democratic?
Yes, we're the most democratic church.
Really? Okay.
We are. This year we're going for a GC session whereby we're voting for new leaders.
Yeah, but
it happens after 3 years. So,
but someone,
you cannot question our democracy.
Someone who's in that space, of going there to elect and what.
Yeah.
He said that what they do is that when you get there, they had already chosen their executive.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you do. That thing is already predestined. It's already there. Nina, you just go there to show face. So is that democracy?
Well, because the word democracy can turn into a political thing. So let us use our own word. Let's say it provides a transparency and accountability in the church, because we're running away from politics. So we are transparent as a church and we are accountable. Why am I saying so? Of course, you're saying that it is predetermined.
Yeah.
Right. Yet you still find pastors all over the world, every country in the world, they go to that GC session to go and do what? To vote for the new leader. Yes, I don't know how they campaign.
Yeah.
I don't know what qualifies them to be on
there.
That list for new leaders, AUI leader, Pathfinder leader worldwide, General Conference president. I don't know what criteria they use. But then that session does happen after 3 years. So you cannot say that we are not as transparent as we believe, because this does happen. And every pastor, every church, they deploy people.
Yeah.
Your local church will deploy people to your conference, your local conference. Then your conference will elect people to go and represent them at the GC. So our last guest on our last episode,
Yeah.
he is entitled to his words. He's no longer a member of our church.
Yeah.
And well, I wouldn't fight him for believing in what he believed in, because he seemed very sure he is determined on his new journey. So on my part, he did say a lot of things that were untrue when it comes to our church.
Yeah.
You know, and he did mention some things that were true, that we are also talking about, issues that we are currently talking about as a church in South Africa right now, not just in South Africa, but all over Africa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he did mention some things. However, he mentioned a lot of things that were in his favor to support his decision of leaving the church, which that's what everyone does when they leave the church.
So do you think his points for leaving the church are more powerful than the ones for not leaving the church? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Every time, negativity always surpasses a positivity. Every time.
Yeah.
You can do good 80% of the time and make one mistake. People are going to remember you for that mistake or for that negative situation. So, yes, a lot of the things that he said were negative towards us, but it was a positive on his own end, you know.
But do you, like, his reasons, do they make sense to you?
Like which ones in particular?
Just in general, the reasons that pushed him out of the church, do they make sense to you? Do you think they are enough to push a person out of the church?
No, I wouldn't say reasons based on how people treat you at a certain local church.
Yeah. That
cannot lead you to leaving the entire faith as a whole. Remember, you're not there for people, you're there for God, right? You choose.
But you can find God at home anyway.
Yeah, you can. I'm not saying you cannot.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why we wake up and go to church, why we fellowship together as a union. There's a reason for that, you know. So, because when Mshang is streamer today, I shouldn't go to church.
Tomorrow
I shouldn't go to church.
Yeah.
Well, I can leave that branch. I can go to a certain branch.
Another one,
but I'm not leaving the church.
Yeah,
I just left you. I just left you and your friends who are bullying me there. So if you experienced something that is not right according to you, well, why don't you talk about it then? Raise those issues in the church. If you're not finding any common ground, then
you should leave.
At least find another branch or something. If you want to leave, it's fine. I always say, if now you feel like, okay, this is too much to bear for me,
you leave.
You have every right to leave, you know. Like, people make decisions. With God, it is about a choice. With God, it is about making decisions. Lucifer had to make a choice.
Yeah.
The reason why we have Satan is because Lucifer had to make a choice, right? We agree on that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would say to everyone, if you feel like our church or the church in general, if you feel like you want to leave the church, no, not if you feel like, if you leave the church, right?
Yeah.
I say, if you leave the church, it's fine. You've made your decision, but don't go around changing the name of the church. Like, you're painting everyone in the church with the same brush as those people that you were fighting with, of which it is not fair. I've never abused you.
Yeah.
I've never insulted you. I've never said anything terrible to you.
You guys were studying together. Did you study together?
With our previous guest.
Yeah.
No, he was a very good influence in my life. Well, we used to write books. So I used to love literature. And he loves literature. So we found something common between the two of us. That was literature, that was poetry, that was music. So yeah, we did love a lot of things. No, we did find common ground.
Common ground, yeah.
On a lot of aspects in life. So yeah. So if ever, like, if someone, and let's suppose there's a girlfriend and a boyfriend and they separate.
Yeah.
What kind of a man are you if you're gonna go and insult your ex in public? Like, what kind of a man are you if you and your girlfriend separate? There's no need for you to go around changing her name, insulting her in front of everyone. Like,
no, it depends who to end.
It depends who to end. Mara, why should you go around spreading false information about it?
Yeah.
So, well, you can talk about what she did to you. If you hate Chile, well, hate Chile, it's fine.
Yeah.
But then, why lie now? Why are you lying?
So, are you saying he's lying? Anyway, don't answer that. Don't answer that. But what would be the something that makes you leave the church? Because, to be honest, I understand why you left the church.
Yeah.
And if it also goes down to why in the first place are you going to church?
Yeah.
If a church is supposed to be a storehouse, if the church is supposed to be a comforter, if the church is supposed to be a shelter, if I'm not getting those things, then I don't have a reason to stay. You understand?
Yeah.
Because in my own understanding also, I don't think a church is about going there praying and preaching. I think it's bigger than that.
Okay.
If there's anything wrong, is the structure of the church right now. The fact that it's a building, people go there, they listen to sermons, they go out. Now there is no time to evangelize.
Okay.
When last did you speak to someone about Jesus Christ? When last did you evangelize?
As a church program?
No, you personally.
Well, I talk about my faith a lot of times.
Yeah, but when did you have a one-on-one someone and try to,
It's been forever, yo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What you are in, what interests you is that every Sabbath you're going to church. Every Sabbath there is a concert, there is a program.
Yeah.
It's like right now at church, it's about the people that are already there.
Yeah.
It's no longer about the fact that we want to bring more people to the church. So, if the church is not giving me what I want or what I need, then it's fair for me to leave and find another church that can give me that. I think it's fair.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
It's fair.
So, yeah. So, going to church, are you saying that going to church is something that should be for your own self
yes,
edification?
Jesus didn't have a church.
Yeah, but then Jesus
didn't go to church.
In the Bible, we are also told that we should bring our talents, our skills and everything to edify the church, not to edify thyself. To edify.
But who is the church? Am I not the church?
The church is a community.
Yeah, but where two or three are gathered in the name of even if there are two people, they make a church.
Yeah.
Don't they?
I agree with you.
Personally, I'm the church as well. So if there is to edify the church, I'm the church. If I'm not edified, then what am I doing there? I have to leave.
Yeah, so what are you doing at a church that doesn't edify God? Number one, you should edify God, not... I'm not saying that you shouldn't edify yourself or whatever, but number one, the main thing that you should go to church for is God. You're going there for God, right?
I don't know.
You go there to worship God.
But we worship God every day, man.
Yeah.
Do you need to go to church to worship God?
Yes, because the Bible did command you to do so.
To go to church?
Yeah.
Which verse is that?
I'm an advocate of...
but which verse is that?
it is in the New Testament where was it Paul or Peter, whereby and they were talking about an assembly, that we should have an assembly for remembering God. So if we are commanded to do that, there is a new wave now. People are saying, no, I'm just gonna do it on my own at home.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a problem with you doing your own stuff at your house. I don't have a problem with that.
But do you have a problem with someone who doesn't go to church?
Someone who doesn't go to church? Well, people have their own reasons why they do things. I don't have a problem with people. Personally, I don't have a problem.
You're a judgmental person.
I wouldn't judge someone for not going to church. I don't know their reasons for not going to church.
There's a guy there by City Church. He used to be our director. By the time we were Pathfinders, he used to be our director. So I saw him when was it when we went to Perea? Last week. Yeah, I saw him last week. So he came in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I'm asking, why are you coming now? Like, what's happening? And then he says, no, you are sleepy. I said, why? Then Uti, no, he's tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. Like, he already knows that Jesus is coming. Like, he already knows everything. So he's tired. He already has that thing in the head. So, and to be honest, we have a lot of people that have that same mentality that are in the church. And
I also get those thoughts sometimes. To be fair, like I do question myself sometimes. Like, since I was born, I've been told that Jesus is coming. When is he coming? I've been told to love my neighbor. I've been told to be good to people. I've never hurt a single soul.
Oh, really?
I've never fought anyone. Like, I've never started a fight. We've been told that throughout, ever since I was born, Jesus is coming. And I heard a story the other day. Right? Yeah. I was told that before you were born, a few months before you were born, people all over the world, especially pastors, these fake pastors on TV, those touch the screen and then you're gonna get healed.
They're fake pastors.
Well, that's what I heard. That fake pastors, right? Not me. Yeah. That's what I heard.
Okay.
And they said those guys were preaching the message that Jesus is coming again in the year 2000.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I was born during the year 2000.
Yeah.
So people were saying 2000, Jesus is coming again.
Oh, so you're 2000?
Well, I am a 2000.
Okay.
25 years later, here am I.
Yeah.
Jesus hasn't come, right?
Yeah.
So I do question that sometime, like a normal young person,
Yeah.
That we've been hearing the same thing over and over and over again. So is there still a need for going to church? Well, based on my readings and based on my faith, there is a need for going to church, and there's a reason why we gather together. Some people, sometimes, I'm not an expert in anything, right?
Yeah.
But you see this many times, people are depressed out there. The people are living lives that they don't want to live. People are not happy in their jobs. People are in toxic environments. A church is a hospital that should heal all that traumas that we face during the week.
What about money? What about money?
What about money?
Isn't the church supposed to support you financially as well?
No. Where is it written? This new phenomenon that people are preaching out there.
It's not a new thing. It's how it was.
The church doesn't make money, so I'm just going to leave it. Like, how should the church make money for you? A church isn't a business. A church is not a company. A church wasn't designed to give you money.
We don't know about that.
We know about that.
No.
Don't you read your Christian writings?
All I know is that it's a storehouse.
A storehouse for what?
For me. Who is it for?
So we sabantu.
Okay. Okay, no, it's fine. Let's just leave it because this thing is it's a debate. But as I was saying, that there are a lot of people that have that same mentality that as in a church we are hearing the same thing, we are hearing the same stuff. So yafana as in Shalenvi.
Yeah.
And then we have others who have left like 100% because of that. Like they're saying yafana man, yafana. Whatever I've been told the same thing ever since.
And I just want to live my life now.
I just want to live my life. Church has a lot of rules.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that you're supposed to abide to.
Yeah.
So on to that. But before we go further, ne?
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask you, what would be a strong reason for you to leave church?
Okay. The main reason that will make me leave the church for good would be the day the church stops preaching about the word of Jesus Christ. The day the church stops testifying the law and what does the verse say? To the law and to the testimony of Christ. If that is not in them, then that means they are of the devil, right? So the day the church stops preaching about the testimony of Christ,
that's when you would leave it.
That's when I will leave, because without Christ, there's no church, right?
Okay.
So the word Christianity, what does it talk about? Who is it talking about? Christ. So I wonder why, there are some people opening up their churches and they said, we are Christians, but we don't believe in Christ. Then what do you believe in? Why did you register your organization as an organization that is under Christianity? Because Christianity means to be Christ-like. So if the church stops preaching about Christ, I will leave the church, because there won't be a reason for me to be there.
Yeah, well, if someone offends me, I might leave the church.
I know you would.
No, a lot of people have offended me, but I'm still in the church. I'm not leaving anytime soon. Hopefully.
Yeah. Don't you find it concerning that a lot of people are leaving the church, and not just any people, even young people?
Yeah.
Our age mates. How many of our guys are still in the church? Like guys you grew up in terms of your Pathfinder club, Ambassador club, youth club. How many of those guys that we've been with from that childhood stage till now?
It's tough. Like there are a lot of factors that contribute to people leaving the church. Some are genuine, some it's just people giving in to their weaknesses. Right now I would say what I've seen even in the church, within the church, is that we have a lot of people that that only come to church for fun. Like there's this other concept that I think we were together, where you came to me and say, I was next to this guy or another group. He was drinking alcohol. So
well, you don't say that out loud, hey? But it does happen, eh?
So like people leave the church because they feel like there are too many roles. I mean, we want fun, and we feel like going to church gets mindezela to not have fun, to not.
And when you talk of ubumnandi, Lobo, don't you think, like, in terms of the SDA setup, right? Ubumnandi has taken over church. Ubumnandi has taken over church. Like every Sabbath, there is a program, there is a concert, there's an event, and we are always there.
and there's someone there's someone on Facebook. I don't know who it is. I don't know. I don't know whether it was Masabat or someone, but She said that right now going to church is expensive. Like being an Adventist is expensive because every Saturday there's a program that you have to go to. You need to do your makeup, need money for transport.
Yeah.
You need to buy
ticket
and everything. So it's becoming
in
costly.
these days you buy that ticket at the gate on Sabbath, during Sabbath. You know, do you remember growing up during Pathfinder? We were taught that you can't buy anything on Sabbath. Like from an SDA, it does make sense. For someone who's not an SDA who's watching this, it might not make sense. But as SDAs, we believe that you don't buy on Sabbath, right? That is one of the things that separates our church from a lot of churches out there.
Yeah.
Like we do not engage in any transactions, financial transactions on Sabbath. So
you don't even cook on Sabbath.
We don't cook on Sabbath. But now, we're just not scared. People are no longer scared of buying on Sabbath, you know. We buy a ticket to enter a certain church if there's a certain group that is hosting that or a certain preacher that we like. Like it is now normalized. It has been normalized. I don't know whether it's a progress or times are changing. Well,
I think people are tired of hearing the same thing.
Yeah.
But you know, on Sabbath, someone like I think like a proper lady, like a grown up.
Yeah.
She came to church drinking Crusher, KFC Crusher.
Yeah.
Carrying it, like she's carrying it in the church.
We did not do that growing up.
You see, so now things are becoming.
Yeah.
That is why even people now drink alcohol. But on alcohol, let's talk about alcohol.
Yeah. Someone's favorite topic.
It's becoming a norm.
Yeah.
Right now in the church, I've seen a lot of people. I've went to. Actually, I don't know, maybe 2 years back.
Yeah.
There was a closing part.
Yeah.
For like, I think it was the December. I don't remember. It was organized by Adventists.
Yeah.
So we went there, and then when we got there, we see people are drinking. You know, someone that you like, you don't even think that person drinks, but when we got there, you find someone drinking like kahle openly, and that thing made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
How? Fine, I understand. If I find you drinking, I don't have a problem with that. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if I see someone who I look up to,
yeah,
maybe someone who's always singing, who sings to a certain group, or who's a preacher, I find him drinking. To me, it touches somewhere somehow, you know. Which comes to my question: do you think drinking alcohol is a sin or is wrong? What's your take on that?
Well, when it comes to alcohol, I could say alcohol, that is a subject that we do not want to touch on, you know, because a lot of people do it, right? People that we look up to in the church.
Have you drinking alcohol before?
I'm still a virgin in that setup.
Oh.
Well, no, maybe here and there.
You should drink now, because if you don't drink now, you will give us problems when you're older. I know. I'm telling you. But yeah.
Well, I've heard a lot of people saying something similar to that.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you drink now? You think you are a holier than thou.
Yeah.
No, guys. I don't drink alcohol because it is a normal thing to do. It is very normal to not drink alcohol, but it is a choice to drink alcohol. You know? So you are not born drinking alcohol. So the fact that I don't drink alcohol.
But you're also not born drinking water, man.
Yeah, but then water is life. Water is healthy.
Timothy, you know what Timothy says? Is it Paul to Timothy? Yes, it's Paul to Timothy. He advises Timothy to drink wine. To drink wine so that I'm cured these small illnesses in the stomach. That's Paul. He's saying that. He's saying, brother, try some wine.
Okay. You're talking about wine, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about wine.
because that is what the Bible did say, right?
Yes.
Number one, first of all, that word wine,
Yeah.
right, in the Bible. Do you know the original word? You know, English is limited sometimes, of course. It is a nice language. You have Shakespeare, who has the nicest words. You have King James, who wrote these big words in English. But do you know the original word that the Bible used for wine?
No. What is it?
The word is oinos.
Okay.
It is a Greek word. And that word oinos, it doesn't talk about alcohol or wine that was fermented, right? The Greek word for wine in the Bible was oinos. And this word referred to, in simple terms, grape juice. So they were talking about grape juice because that wine was unfermented. Now you have every information in your fingertips. Go to Google. Now you have what? Now you have ChatGPT. Go to that. And also, not just that, ask your pastors, people who did theology. People who did theology. And I think there is a curriculum for Greek on that course or that degree.
Yeah.
Ask around, ask people who know how to read the Greek Bible.
Yeah.
They will teach you. So when the Bible was talking about wine, the English Bible doesn't specify whether this wine was fermented or not, right? So, however, most of the time when the Bible spoke about wine, especially there is that ceremony where Jesus turned water into wine. It was a wedding ceremony, right?
Yeah.
Let's look at the context of that chapter.
Okay.
So during those days, during ancient Greek times, there was never a celebration without oinos. And what is oinos? Grape juice.
No.
And
but,
let me finish it.
Sorry.
Also in the book of Deuteronomy,
Yeah.
I think it's Deuteronomy or Leviticus 11, the one that talks about food. It talks about oinos and oil as an agricultural produce.
Yeah.
So is wine an agricultural produce or grapes are? What is an agricultural produce between grapes and wine?
But what makes wine? Isn't it grapes?
Those grapes make wine. But that oinos, grape juice, it used to be a fresh produce.
But why didn't they say juice then? Because a wine, it's something fermented.
We can ask King James, the ones who translated the English Bible. We can ask them that question. So, but however, the Greek Bible does specify that. So, are people who use that verse to justify their drinking? Faith, try harder, because in the Bible, 9.9% out of 10, the Bible is discouraging drinking alcohol. And then when no, but Jesus turned
water into wine.
Do you think that was Jesus' first miracle ever, ne?
Yeah.
So do you think that Jesus, on his first ever public appearance, will give people something that is totally against? Like, let's be real, let's be honest. In his first public appearance.
That's the thing. Who said he's against it?
The entire Bible. Let us read.
Did Jesus openly said alcohol is wrong?
Well, what are his principles? Jesus, number one, was a Jew, right?
Yes.
Jesus was a Jew.
And Jews drank alcohol on ceremonies.
No.
They drank wine.
Those days, they used to drink oinos. Yes, you can say wine because English says wine. But then, that is not what the original Bible said. Let us go back to the Greek word then. Because, this is why I like Muslims about one thing. They do not translate their word, the Quran.
Yeah.
Up to today, the Quran is still in Arabic to avoid such things. The English Bible, the French Bible, the German Bible, they all came with their different translations. There are some things right now that if you directly translate from a German language, the German Bible, you'll be shocked as someone who speaks English. You know that. So I don't want to get into those details because I might be sued, for misleading people. So there is a verse that I would maybe leave you with before I move on this particular topic. That is Romans 14 verse 21 that says, "You shall not eat or drink of anything that will make your brother to fall." So let's be honest. number one, what is one thing that you drink that will make you fall or make your brother fall?
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
You know what I'm talking about. Well, the viewer knows what I'm talking about. So, well, yeah, that's pretty much it, my friend. And also, remember, you can't use that word every time and say, no, Jesus turned water into wine, so I have to drink alcohol. Did Jesus turn water into vodka? Did Jesus turn water into
times
whiskey?
have changed now. People are able to have options and manufacture different kinds of alcohol. But personally, reading the Bible, there is no way that says alcohol is wrong.
So you want a specific verse that says
yes,
alcohol is wrong?
What I've read, right, in the Bible about alcohol is that what is wrong is getting drunk.
Okay.
That's why even Paul warns not to drink excessively. So if you're gonna say not to drink excessively, don't drink too much. If someone says don't drink too much, it means you can drink. But drink a little. That is why Uchela even Uloku Utoban Timothy, he says have a little wine. Remember, if you know the background of where Timothy was staying, right, where they were staying, it was a very unhealthy place. Like sewages were running. So now the amanzi abebewaphuza, they were not healthy. So bekaseqala ukugula nje, siba nama stomach, problems and stuff like that. Then that's when Paul says, no, my friend, imancane ngamanzi wakho la. Thathi wine, just a little of it. Because Timothy, well, we would assume that you are someone who didn't drink, who wanted to maintain his sobriety or whatever that thing is called. But Paul, no, kancane nje. Ungaphuza ukuthi udake, just kancane nje. You understand? So what I'm saying with me in the Bible, what I've noticed is getting drunk is a sin, but drinking alcohol is not.
Well, yikubambe lapho. Drinking alcohol, right? You say drinking alcohol is not a sin.
Yeah.
Well, I would come to you and say, but doctors do recommend alcohol in terms. Sometimes they give you a medication, and it will be written something percent, a certain percentage alcohol. So, are you referring to that, or are you referring to your beer, whiskey, brandy?
I'm referring to wine, beer, and all of those things. It's the same thing. All of these things have alcohol.
Yeah, so that story of the story that you just gave me of Timothy, of which I'm not familiar with that story, I won't lie. So that story, are you saying that story does justify us to drinking alcohol? Because you can see, before we started talking about this, right, you are the one who specifically mentioned to me that alcohol consumption has become a problem in the church.
Yes.
People just want to do what they want.
Yeah.
People want to drink alcohol. That is why some of them leave the church, because the church is not an alcohol-friendly place.
Yeah.
So are you saying because of that story, we should allow people to drink and serve in the church?
Okay, let me educate you. You see, long back, I don't know if this is written anyway, but it is there. You'll find it if you look deeper. Alcohol was a norm, it was okay. And then it came to a point where people were now abusing drinking. So then the church distanced itself. The Christian church distanced itself from alcohol, because with people, because people were drinking alcohol and getting drunk. And you know what happens when you drink. Check if you lot who's lot then?
Lot is the niece or the nephew, or no. Hey, yes, English.
Remember the daughters of Lot.
Yeah.
They made him drink alcohol. They drugged him and then they slept with him.
Yeah, it was Noah.
No, it was not Noah.
Are you serious? Lot is the one whose wife was changed into a pillar of
Yes,
salt.
remember, after the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah,
Yeah.
abantwana baka-Lot, they were worried that they are the only children, they're going to be the only people remaining in the world. So, ngamane sinjani, ngamane sidagise ubaba, and then silale naye so that we can have abanye abantu abaningi.
Yeah.
So, the problem ngotshwala is you getting drunk by it.
Okay.
Right? And then once you then you do into better. You commit sin.
Yeah.
So if ungaphuza wena uziphuzelela endlini, you don't do anything, uvuke ekuseni right, is that a sin?
Well, to be honest with you, the Bible is against consumption of alcohol.
According to you?
Not according to me, according to what is written in the
That's
Bible.
That's the thing. The Bible has the Bible is open for. Have you ever wondered why a Bible that is so much information about life, that the most important book in the world, is open for interpretation? Like anyone can just say, like you are just saying, like I'm just saying, I'm saying I didn't find anything wrong. You're saying it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So then how do we know who is right? Why did the Bible become so open like that? Like anyone can just come in and say, no, this is what it is. Omnyati, no, this is what it is. Mm-hmm. So now it's hard to tell whether right or right or right.
Okay, so I have one concern. I see where you are going, right? And after spending so much time with you all these years, I know where you're going and why you're thinking like that.
Okay.
So okay, let me shift away from alcohol and make this example. Because I'm trying to get your point on alcohol. Right?
Yes.
Just because something,
I'm not advocating alcohol.
You sound like you are.
I'm not advocating people to drink. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay. So because something was allowed maybe by God.
Yeah.
Does it mean that that's what God had planned for us? For example, we all know the plan of God, right? And as an SDA, you would know that the name of that topic when we're studying and reading our doctrine, it is plan of salvation, right? So we know what a plan of salvation is. We know what the plan of God towards humanity is. But you find the very same God allowing, who was that guy? Allowing Jacob to have more than one wife. Allowing Abraham to have more than one wife. Allowing all these guys, David, they had more than one wives.
True.
Does that justify us to have more than one life partners?
Did God say you must not have more than one?
Well, I don't want to touch on that topic.
No, I'm asking. It's a yes or no.
Broad,
no, but it's
topic.
A yes or no.
No, me giving you a yes or no will distract someone out there.
No, you don't. Okay, fine.
Yeah, but we all know that as a Christian, you can't have more than one wife, right? However, the Bible, all these Bible characters,
Bible more than one. Yeah,
Bible. I'm talking about those Bible heroes, the most important guys in the Bible.
Solomon.
Yeah, they had more than one wife. The wisest king ever.
Yeah,
broke all the records. You know, and so does that justify Thuba today to say, you know what, I feel like having more than one. I just want to marry more than one wife. Because something God did agree to it at a certain event or at a certain time, or God compromised for someone in order to save someone.
Does God compromise? He doesn't compromise.
Well, that was compromising on the issue of Jacob. God did compromise his own principles on the issue of Jacob. That's what I take it. That's how I take it. Why? Because God is against polygamy. Then he allows Jacob to have more than one wife, and then he still blesses Jacob. After that, Jacob is one of the most blessed guys in the Bible. Yet, he had more than one wife.
Yeah.
So, because God allowed it, does it mean that that is a Christian standard?
No, it means that he can allow it again.
He can allow it again?
Yeah.
Why is he not allowing it now?
Who says he's not allowing it? Do you have 2 wives?
I don't have 2 wives, but then what's going to happen? Well, at our specific church, you get more than 1 wife now. You marry more than 1 wife.
Yeah.
What is going to happen in our local church?
I know there's a guy who would.
We're not in the business of naming names, even if they are famous. No matter how famous they are, well, we have to protect.
I know there's a guy who was. I know there's a guy who attempted to do that. In the church, yeah, he attempted to say no. 2 wives is the way to go.
Yeah, because
Besides, it's like he says, in his family, it's a normal thing to do.
Yeah,
he tried to do that, but I don't know what happened, how the issue was handled.
Do you know how our church handles that situation?
Yeah.
If ever you marry a second wife,
yeah,
in order for you to serve in the church, or in order for you to be a member of the church,
yeah,
they will force you to divorce this second wife. Yeah, that's what I heard. I was asking a certain elder the other day. It's like, so what is wrong with marrying more than 1 wife? Because in the Bible, all these Bible heroes, they had more than 2, 3 wives. So what are your views on that?
Yeah.
He told me his views, and I asked a question. I gave him a scenario. I said, okay, I'm a non-Christian.
Yeah.
I decide to get baptized.
You have 2 wives.
I already have 2 wives.
Yeah.
How are you going to handle that situation?
Mm.
I was told something that I will never forget, and I was like, wow, this is bizarre.
What is it?
They said the church will force you to either to divorce the youngest wife in order for you to be accepted in the church.
But who cares about being accepted in the church?
Well, yeah.
Do you care? Do you think having your name in the church is important for you?
No. Nah, personally, no. Whether my name is in the church or not. What's important is my relationship with God.
I know there's a guy again. There's a guy in the church who said the church must give him his name. He will carry it wherever he goes. He said they must give him his name. They must just write him whatever. He wants to stay with his name. And
so it doesn't belong to a specific local church?
No, they said no. This is crazy. It's insane. What is that? How can you?
Yeah,
how can you?
You cannot do that, because in our faith you have to belong to a local church.
I think he didn't understand the concept of saying you have a name in the church.
Yeah, many people don't understand.
But he's really old. But he was frustrated with how the church was treating him. To say, you know what, fuck, give me my name. I'll take care of it. You don't know that guy?
No, I've never heard of this story.
Okay, no, that's cool.
So I will have a question.
Yeah.
Towards our folks out there who are frustrated, and like our folks who love drinking, right?
Yeah.
Those guys who justify drinking and still participate in the church.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anyone shouldn't participate in church, by no means, right?
Mm.
But then I will still tell you that no, your decisions in terms of drinking,
yeah,
you shouldn't be doing that. Once you accept the responsibility of being maybe a youth leader,
yeah,
you accept a responsibility of being a preacher, you accept a responsibility of being a church musician, the one who's going to stand in front of the church and represent God.
Mm.
There are some things that you have to cut off in your life.
True, that's very true.
Like your alcohol consumption. Well, we do have very strong beliefs in terms of that. When you got baptized,
yeah,
you stood in front of the church, and they asked you a series of questions.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Do you accept that you will not consume alcohol, drugs, and other toxic what? You raised your right hand, saying, yes, I do agree with this.
But
And,
do you know you can consume weed for healthy reasons?
Yeah, for health reasons.
So
if a doctor does
no,
assign
not
you to
why are you
that.
talking about a doctor? I'm saying you can buy weed
Yeah,
and boil it,
yeah.
and then you drink that water.
Well,
It's
I
for
will,
asthma.
yes, I will.
You'll
I will
get
not,
high. You'll
yeah.
get high, but it's for asthma. So is that wrong?
Well, I don't know that procedure, so I wouldn't say it is wrong or right.
No, but I'm telling
However,
you.
I know that herbs are a health.
Yeah, but now we're
herbs
talking
are
about
medicine.
weed, like weed.
Yeah, weed is a herb, right?
Yeah.
So yes, it can
Weed
be
is
used
fine.
for it. I'm not saying weed is fine in terms of you going to smoke it. No, you like I'm
But-
against smoking and drinking. So I'm against that. So I wouldn't say just because weed is healthy. It is like me going to take Panado and saying no, Panado is healthy. Let me smoke it.
But what if you put weed on scones? Have you ever done that? Do you
Space
think-
muffins.
Yeah. Do you think that's wrong?
Ish. I did that in high school and ish.
I had a friend of mine who did who did that thing. Like he ate space muffins. I feel like those things. I think they added drugs or something because he called us. He was in town. Like he couldn't see where he was going. Like he was lost. Like why not get down? Like
Yeah.
imagine every day you go to town, but he ate that thing and he got lost. And we had to
How?
go and take him where he was. So yeah, it's a funny experience. But I've never taken them.
Yeah. Ish. Yeah, that thing. Nah. It is
But people
terrible.
who smoke weed, they say it's for healthy reasons. It makes
Those
you
who
calm.
smoke it or those who consume it for health reasons.
Well, those who smoke it.
Those who smoke it will obviously try and justify their smoking habits. You know,
Yeah.
just like those who drink alcohol, they'll always come back to the fact that Jesus turned water into wine. So
But-
you'll always, if you're comfortable in your habit
Yeah.
or bad habits, you'll always find a way of justifying yourself. Yabo? So if now you're always scrolling on TikTok and you know
Yeah.
that I have to study,
Mm.
you will have something to justify yourself with. So
Back to alcohol.
yeah,
Because ngiyawezwa ama-points wakho. I hear what you're saying.
yeah.
And which makes me wonder, how do you feel about Christians who drink?
I feel well. To me, Christians who drink alcohol,
They're sinners.
I'm looking for the right words, man. Don't put words in my mouth.
Do you
So
feel like they are unholy?
no, we are all sinners, my friend.
Yeah.
We are all sinners, and
But,
we are all saved by grace.
Yes.
And I don't think that
So do you think
you should be comfortable sinning in public and justifying your sins in public.
so you
We
should
all
be
sin.
comfortable sinning indoors? Is that what you're saying?
I would rather you have do that. I would rather.
But it's still the same was in the eyes of God.
It is still the same in
Yes.
the eyes of God, but we are not God. We are Thuba mina, because I look up to you. I look up to you a lot. You are my favorite preacher. Every time I
So
hear that.
kusamele manje ngiphile impilo yami because
Phila impilo yakho, but be a good example. You chose to
I don't
be.
want to be
You
like
chose to be a preacher. The fact that you chose that lifestyle, you chose to be a preacher. You chose to be a what you call a Sabbath school teacher, whatever you are. The fact that you chose that,
yeah.
there is some compromises that we have to do.
True.
Like either you cut off drinking alcohol
Yeah.
or hide it in my eyes. I don't want to see it, because
So you don't want
I was hurt when I saw one of the people I look up to
drinking alcohol.
drinking alcohol. And to make things worse, they were drinking that at church in their own car. Like, of course, you're in your car, but then a certain guy gave him a bottle. They entered the car and they started consuming that. I was like, what? At church? Like,
Yeah.
I look up to you a lot. Like, that was extreme. That was too much.
Yeah.
You can agree with me. Like, that was too much. You cannot drink at church, at a church program.
Mm.
No.
You can't drink them.
I'm not I don't have a problem with you drinking. That's your life, your choices. We are all
Yeah.
sinners. We all have our own sins, right? But for you to advertise your sin, for you
It's
to
wrong. According to you, it's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong if you're going to advertise your sin for all of us to see that, no, I am comfortable doing this in public. No, you're wrong about that.
But are you not drinking alcohol because of how you were raised, or you don't like it?
For me,
answer carefully.
It is a bit of both.
You don't like it? How do you know you don't like it?
Well, I know I don't like it because I have tried it, right?
Oh, you have tried it. Which one did you drink?
Well, every child in this generation, I do believe that every high school kid.
Have you drank mkombot?
Oh yes,
it's nice.
Well, it was a function. It was a certain function.
Yeah.
We went to we went to Newcastle for that function, and then they were like, no, men this side.
And then you drank it.
Side.
Drank on that one.
No. They poured it the cup. They gave me a cup and they said, yeah,
that's
just
a fake mkombot. You know,
it was a real mkombot. Yeah, others were drinking from that thing, but then I wasn't gonna share that. I wasn't gonna put my mouth on that. Like, I don't know whether they are sick or what. So
you're not a man.
I would rather be a loser than risk my health. Those kind of things.
So you drank it and you didn't like it?
Yeah. No, mkomboti, well, I can't say I didn't like it, but it is a traditional drink, you know.
But it makes you drunk.
Yeah, it does. It has a lot of sugar.
I think the first time I drank mkomboti, I was very young. I think I was in grade 6, 7.
I think I was
in Eastern Cape there.
Yeah,
I went with some other my friends' family. I went with them, and then we drank mkombot, and we slept until
it does sleep. We're not promoting you to drink, hey.
But last time I tried, when I had a party here, I tried to make mkombot. But then that thing is just not easy. Like if umuntu who is traditionally knowledgeable.
Yeah,
but
so big to your question.
Yeah.
I don't drink because it is a choice.
Yeah.
That is number one, the most important thing. And also I believe that my faith did play a role.
Yeah.
And also my experience did play a role, you know. So it's not like I've never had an opportunity to drink. I've had an opportunity to drink everything, my guy. Like everything.
Yeah.
I used to stay with producers, music producers, people in the entertainment space.
Yeah.
You know. So in the entertainment space sometimes you do experiment. So for me, it wasn't something that I enjoyed. Even though those guys, they are in the entertainment space. One of them turned out to be the biggest ever producer in his own field and his own genre there.
Yeah.
So I won't mention names, but then turned out to be the biggest in the country. So I had that opportunity. I still chose not to.
But he drinks alcohol. So why is he not your role model?
The producer that I'm referring to.
Yeah, because he drinks, but he's successful.
Well, I wouldn't say he's not my role model. Of course, he does inspire me on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I saw him from when he had nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and he evolved, he grew. Yeah. So he does inspire me on a lot of things. So I wouldn't say people who drink alcohol cannot be my role models. No, I'll be lying to you. Some people who do drugs are my role models in terms of different fields, you know. Well, you read stories about a certain celebrity. Oh, he was dying from drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then, that's it. So I can't say because you once consumed drugs, you consumed alcohol, you cannot be a role model or a friend of mine.
Yeah.
You can be a friend of mine, but still,
yeah.
I'll still when you
don't judge.
I'm not in the business of judging. I'm not God.
Yeah.
So, but I can educate you. Yeah, I can educate you, but I'll never judge you. And I'll let you do your own things. If you visit me in my house, you don't drink alcohol. If I visit you and find you drinking, fine, you will drink.
But you won't
drink. I will not drink. Yeah, it's like that.
Are you scared of people like seeing you associate yourself with people who drink?
No, I'm
You don't
always,
mind, like
no, personally, I'm always with anyone. Like I chill with everyone. Like I have a small circle, ne?
yeah,
Like let's not get that out of context. My circle is very, very small.
yeah,
However, if I'm with a person who drinks,
yeah,
I'll let them do their own thing. You know, I don't have a problem with people who make their own choices, but I wouldn't do it for myself, you know, and also because of my faith.
yeah. But never say never.
Ah,
You know, there's another guy
yeah.
at your church.
Uh-huh.
He's no longer going to church because I'm Shangestin. So he left church, and then right now they say he's a drunkard. That's how they describe him because of that. So that's why I'm saying never say never. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
they might do something that might lead you to that.
yeah. Well, don't cast
know.
a spell on me, please.
No, I'm not casting. I'm just being realistic.
We are being realistic. Anything can happen in life. If that were to happen, well, maybe God would have approved. Maybe. But what I know now,
yeah,
and where I'm at right now, I don't like
think
that.
about those things.
I don't like. I'm also tired of us non-drinkers having to explain
why you don't drink.
Yeah. So you find someone akubuza which so like I get invited at a function, I go, and then everyone is drinking. So pussy, why? Like I hate that question.
Yeah.
I don't drink because I don't drink.
Yeah.
That's a choice, and that's normal food.
Yeah.
When you're pooza, fine. I'm gonna let you pooza and get drunk, whatever. But I'll just not do it.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. So you can invite me to your function now. I'll come to support you as my friend. But don't expect that I'm going to bend my own principles to fit in. And, you know, I really, one day we're going to talk about it for the sake of time. We no longer have time now.
Yeah.
One of our episodes, we are going to talk about this, you know, the issue of trying to fit in. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we are losing so many guys, so many gents.
Because they want to fit in.
Because they want to fit in.
Yeah.
Gents,
true.
Guys, young girls, it is important. I mean, it is also important for you to know that you don't have to fit in. You don't have to fit in all the time. If when you're an introvert, that's completely fine.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, find your small circle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't have
make
to
your own circle.
in. Yeah.
True. Yeah. No, I hear you. Stop drinking, guys. Stop drinking.
Yeah, stop trying to justify yourselves
Stop
at church
drinking.
And say no because Jesus turned water into wine, so we have to do it even at church. Nah, guys. Like, you have guys, some meeting. Like, we go to a camp meeting, and what are guys talking about? They're talking about alcohol. They're even bringing alcohol in the premises of that camp meeting. Guys, let us do better, man. Nah, like, it is disgusting at a certain point. I'm not saying this because I don't drink.
You're judging.
Well, you can take it as if I'm judging, but it is fine. I'm educating here. So at church, you don't do that at church, right?
Yeah.
You can't.
You do it at your own places, yes. Puzani magini. Don't come in.
Or rather, don't puza at all.
Yeah. What's one sin that you are doing that you know it's a sin, but
I wouldn't be proud to mention my sins here. We are all sinners. We all have our own sins.
Yeah, but if you mention it, you'll have a challenge to change it.
I know. So if I mention it, I'm giving someone else a platform to continue doing that very same thing.
No, you're sharing your weakness as well.
Nah.
You're saying and then you try to fight it.
No, I don't think. Well, there are platforms for that. Like your what do they call it? A prayer band.
Prayer bands. Okay.
You do have that opportunity during a prayer band. You go to prayer band. You confess your sins. Well, you don't even need to confess your sins in front of a preacher or a priest.
Yeah.
You just confess your sins before you sleep at night when you pray. Confess your sins.
Do you do that?
Yeah, every day. Whenever I pray,
Yeah.
I confess my
Do you
sins.
name them one by one,
I
or you just say, "Forgive me for all my sins"?
I do mention them sometimes one by one, you know, especially the sin of hatred.
Oh, you hate people?
Ish. Oh, now okay. No, I don't hate people, but there are people that I
You don't like.
Well, I guess it's normal. So don't judge me, please.
Hey. Okay. In conclusion, say vala manje.
Yeah.
We have to close it. Unfortunately, time is moving.
Way past our time now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, in closing, guys, as I've said before, ngaphuze a church. What are your last words?
Well, I'm saying, okay, my last words would be, we all fall. We all find ourselves
We fall
doing
every
things
day.
that we do not like. We sometimes find ourselves doing things that God doesn't want us to do. But remember, God is still there. God is a forgiving God. God is a loving God. So
hallelujah to them.
Yeah. So this platform is a platform for us young folks to discuss
Real issues.
Yes. Real issues, social issues, economic issues that we face as a church. And
without judging each other.
Yeah, without judging each
Yeah,
other.
even
for
though
me
he's
and
judging.
my friend, we are SDA Christians and are very proud of that. Right?
Yes.
And that doesn't mean that we are not going to be critical about how things are done within the church. So
true.
In this conversation, in this episode, we were critical of some of the things. We're not being critical because we just love to complain, but because we love this church. And we're not prepared to, we're not willing to leave it, so to say.
Yeah.
So, yes, guys, if you find yourself in situations that you do not want to be, remember who your creator is, you know. I like the book of Leviticus, chapter 9 or chapter 12, that says, remember the days of your youth, right?
Yeah.
So, to me, that does say, you must live life, be happy, live life.
Yeah.
For every decision that you take, there's a consequence.
True.
Right? So make sure that you try and live the best life that you want for yourself, not for anyone. Stop trying to impress people with the wrong things or even the right things. Don't try to impress people.
Don't live for
yourself. Yeah, live for yourself and be happy.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Trust me when I say this. It's gonna get better and better and nicer and interesting and everything. Yeah. So just keep your eyes on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've watched till this far and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell us what do you think. What are your thoughts with alcohol? It's a very controversial topic within the Christian space. You know, others say it's okay, others say it's not okay. So what do you say? You want to hear that on the comments.
Yeah.
Don't forget to share. Thank you guys for watching. This is your boy. Did I introduce myself?
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope so. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye. See you on the next one.
Until next time.
Danko.